3, 2, 1. Welcome to The Peaceful Truth, the podcast where we talk about everything from feminism, feminist issues, and more. You are joined by your hosts, Meghan Hoharts and
Kenzie Meekbeck.
Hello, Kenzie.
Hello, Meghan.
What's up?
You know, just conquering the world one day at a time.
So today is July 12th.
Yes.
According to the podcast world.
Oh, according to the podcast world, but what day is it for us?
July 2nd. Happy birthday, Allison, my friend. Oh, wow.
So we've got a puppy in here and she's dragging around her leash.
She's driving me effing insane. She's
a baby.
It's time to take this girl for a walk.
Yeah. So we are going through 2 podcasts today. So this one, you guys are like, yeah, we listened last week. But this one is about restorative justice.
Which, until you brought it up, I didn't even know what it meant.
I'm relating it specifically to a conversation I had. So I kind of wanted to just leave it open-ended to let you see what you would develop from it.
Well, I had to Google what it meant.
Yeah, I kind of did too, to be honest.
Here's the definition that I have. An approach to justice in which the response to a crime is to organize a mediation between the victim and the offender, and sometimes with representatives of a wider community as well.
Okay, I'll read the one I looked up. Restorative justice is a theory of justice that emphasizes repairing the harm caused or revealed by criminal behavior. It is best accomplished through cooperative processes that include all stakeholders, according to the Center for Justice and Reconciliation at Prison Fellowship International.
Mine makes more sense. Yeah. What does yours mean? What do you think it means, like, in layman terms?
Okay. I think it's more like you allow the victim the opportunity to talk to the criminal so they can talk about, like, the crime that happened, restore it more than just destroy someone's life.
Okay. I think I get what you're saying.
Which I don't necessarily mean destroy as negative adjective, because I am actually 100% honestly don't know how I think about all forms of restorative justice. Yeah. So I just wanted to throw out there that I just don't know where officially I stand yet.
Okay. I don't think that I know enough to either as well. How did you think of this topic?
Yeah. So that's a good question. So I got into a talk with an acquaintance. We were having lunch, and she seemed to actually lean more toward restorative justice than regular, just in this conversation. I don't know her overall opinion, but to suspects and perpetrators behind what spurred the Me Too movement.
Oh, interesting concept.
Yeah. So what that means is, from her perspective, I don't want to put words in her mouth, but what I think it means that in this case of the Me Too movement, according to what I think, is to rather than shame or destroy the men's lives, to try to put them through a process and educate them to see the damage that they did.
That's an intense concept. I didn't think of applying this to the Me Too movement.
Yeah, so that's kind of what spurred it. So I guess what I think it means in her interpretation is that men that don't understand feminism, or were given the wrong ideas, or were raised with the wrong thought process toward women, to try to forgive and educate them rather than damn them to hell. Anyway, this is a concept that I hadn't thought about, and I don't know how I feel about.
Yeah. I think that...
So we're not advocating for one way or the other, just to be 100% clear.
I think that the fact that I didn't even know what it meant kind of indicates that it's not a commonly used term or commonly used way of doing justice.
I was doing a little research last night, very surface level, so I think it's only 20 years old.
Okay.
Or maybe in one of the countries I was researching about, the concept's only 20 years old. So it's pretty new. So this is so it's kind of more, there's articles that I've seen where I kind of get confused about the definition, and please viewers reach out if you understand it better. But there's like somewhere I thought that restorative justice was just more like you kind of sit down the victim and the offender and you just let them talk about it and talk it out. And I'm like, how's that going to solve anything?
Mm-hmm.
And then another perspective, which I think is what the other girl was arguing, was this headline I kind of leans toward it. Can restorative justice help offenders reintegrate into society? So more of an educational perspective than just ridding them off altogether.
I think that there's probably, like, if I were to begin forming an opinion about something that I don't know that much about, I think that there would be a difference depending on the mental state of the, quote, attacker.
And the severity of the attack.
Yeah.
And the severity of the incidents, and the severity of the crime.
Because if the person is severely mentally unwell, I don't think you can sit there as long as you want and talk as much as you want. But I don't think that that's going to solve anything. Now, if there was, for instance, one instance, then maybe talking about it could lead to some kind of conclusion where this person may not do it again. But I just think that I think it would be a severely case by case basis.
I mean, because then there's like other thoughts, because like some kids come just from like a bad situation and then it like escalates and then they get there, and like, do they necessarily deserve, like, they were given a bad hand? Like, could they be reintegrated? Like, there's like, the older I get, the more I realize that it's not black and white.
Yes. And I think that really after I read the definition, I was like, oh my gosh, I've listened to a TED Talk about this. I don't know if they called it restorative justice, but it was very similar. So it was a girl who was probably our age, and then her very first boyfriend. So we're talking back when they were 16, 17 years old. And the relationship was how any normal high school relationship would start. Super fun, super flirty. Like, they weren't sexually active at the time. They were both virgins. And then one night, I want to say prom night, she got really, really, really drunk, and he did not partake in alcohol. And they went back to his house, and he forced himself on her and took her virginity. And it was this guy that, you know, we could probably see our high school boyfriends in this guy, like, super good guy, never crossed the line before that. And it was just like this one instance of taking advantage of his girlfriend when she was extremely intoxicated, which is extremely wrong. And that ended the relationship right then. Like, she ended the relationship. They never talked about it. I want to say she or he even moved away, not because of this, but just with family circumstances. They never saw each other again. Then flash forward years, and I don't know who reached out to who, but they reached out to each other, and so much guilt the boyfriend had, like, unbelievable amount of guilt. And now they're going around the country together, doing TED Talks, maybe even around the world. They're reaching a ton of audiences, talking about this experience and what happened together. So I think that this is a prime example of restorative justice and what it can mean. And not only does he not end up, you know, in trouble, like, I don't know what the form of trouble would be for that, but rather he's taking this situation where he made a huge mistake and influencing audiences around the United States, young men, young girls she's influencing young girls and maybe what they've gone through. And so I think it's taking a terrible, terrible situation and turning it for the better.
Yeah, I agree. So I think it's complex. It's a complex topic.
Yes, very.
Yeah. Oh, can we grab that piece of paper? Sorry, we've got Peppy over here. So this is an article that I kind of wanted to touch on. It's PBS, Can Restorative Justice, again, help offenders reintegrate into society? And it's by Rebecca Beast. I feel like it's going to sound like a curse word if I'm being like 100% honest.
Beach.
Rough. That must have been a rough childhood. Sorry, Rebecca, but it's true. Okay, so it's a form of what's known as restorative justice, which encourages both sides to talk about how they are affected by a crime and offenders to take responsibility for their actions. So in many states, offenders serving time are barred from contacting victims. But in some prison programs, it gives victims a chance to ask questions in a way they weren't able to in court. So a prisoner can get the chance to do something positive for those that they might have harmed. And restorative justice is also used in many jurisdictions before incarceration. This allows offenders to sometimes avoid jail time for low-level crimes by meeting their victims to discuss the incident and how they can make things right. But prison and parole offices are increasingly adapting restorative justice programs to help those who have committed serious and violent crimes while they are in prison and as they reintegrate into society, sometimes without participation of the victims or even their families. So, yeah, what I thought of the definition was. And they stressed it was low level in that article.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you, the more of the debate that I wanted to kind of just bring up with you, not even, we probably wouldn't have a difference of opinion, maybe even, because I don't even know mine. But like relating to like all the guys who, I just forgot the main guy's name in the movie. Harvey. Yeah, like relating to him.
I think that is like a systemic issue that
he's a repeat offender.
If it like this guy that did it in whenever.
Well, allegedly. He's allegedly a repeat offender.
Yeah. Bill Cosby, same thing. I think that it's literally, my opinion would be on a case by case basis. For the TED Talk that I just mentioned, I think that restorative justice is the way to go. I don't think that every case is the way. Like Harvey, no way. Maybe if you implemented restorative justice after the very first act, maybe then, but 50 plus allegations after that, I don't think so.
And that's how I feel. Like clearly that's how I feel. And he's convicted now, so he is guilty. The guy in the case with all the gymnastics young women.
Mm-hmm.
Not fair. Not gonna improve, clearly. He's an older man. So is Harvey.
I think it's also a age thing as well. Like
it's so drilled into people's minds.
Mm-hmm. And okay, I can't remember the gymnastics guy's name. Whatever the
Forgive us, we're lacking on sleep on both ends.
He was molesting young girls.
Yeah. There's differences. I just feel like
there's a severe mental illness there for me in order to
agree
molest girls that are not within an adult age. But I just think that it is a case by case basis, and I think that it would have to be in order for restorative justice to work, there would have to be a lot of things to happen. It would have to be the first time. It would have to be a certain age. It would have to be I know nonviolent isn't the right word, but because all of it's violent, but extreme violence, it can be like extreme violence. I think that there's so much gray there. Like, how will we ever come to it being written in law?
Right. But like her argument was like a lot of her guy friends were terrified after the Aziz Ansari incident.
Oh, the Aziz Ansari is a big one.
And they were like, what if I've done something that I didn't realize I was pushing too far? What if I wasn't trying to be that way and I didn't know I was being that way? Or what if like society, when I was a young kid, I thought I was doing something wrong. So now they like are replaying things, are just terrified of it. And she's like, that's why I worry about the other men who it might isolate. And she goes, what about restorative justice for people for changing their minds?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a complicated topic.
I just wanted to put that out into the world.
Wow, Kens.
Profound.
It's a huge effing topic. And I think that Harvey Weinstein should rot in jail for all of eternity, and Bill Cosby.
Today, I think another update, and who knows by the time we release it. I mean, who knows what this will mean by the time we release it. But I think Harvey is facing life, maybe.
Life in jail?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So I heard more people.
But he's not, I think, 100% convicted. So
I heard more people came forward recently, too. I don't know if it was today or yesterday.
That
but
guy.
There's also a Bill Cosby documentary that I want to watch.
Oh, boy. That one really blew my mind.
Dude, blew my mind.
That one real did.
And
I was just like, really did.
And
I was like,
I'm sad. Bill Cosby, the Cosby Show was the greatest.
Yeah, I like watched him as like a young girl, like before I went to sleep on Nick at Night. And then to know he was a perv the whole time, I was like a little girl watching him.
Like, what the heck? Yeah. And his poor wife. Shit.
And she's just like, ride or die over there.
Oh, she is?
I think.
Oh, she's just like saying,
I think she doesn't believe it.
Oh, she doesn't believe it.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't research what the wife thinks.
I think.
Oh, wow.
Don't quote me.
She just doesn't believe it?
I don't know. I'm not going to say it again because I'm not sure.
Dude.
But she's defending him.
We should do an episode on the wives of these people. The wife of Bill Cosby, the wife of Harvey.
And the children.
And the children. And the wife of the gymnastics guy divorced him, I think. Or is filing
Oh my God.
for it.
That one I couldn't sleep ever again.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would hyperventilate.
Mm-hmm.
Or the wife of the Subway guy.
Who's the Subway guy?
The Jared guy?
Oh, yeah.
He like had sex with like 15-year-olds or something, or pursued. I need to look that up. He did something with young women. Didn't he?
Yeah, or I want to maybe say porn on his computer with girls that weren't of age.
But I think he also maybe talked to people.
Is he in jail?
Yeah, he's convicted.
For the rest of his life, or?
I don't know.
Dude.
Again, why we need to do these episodes.
Let's do an episode.
I
of
used
the
to
wives.
know. It's just been a minute.
Should we do that? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think it would be interesting as well.
I like how we're talking our ideas through to our viewers. Okay, well, what are you looking forward to this week, Maggie?
I don't know because it's the future.
Hot take. Okay.
I don't know. Okay, it's the 12th.
Make it up.
Oh, I know what I'm looking forward to. I honestly know what I'm looking forward to.
Okay.
Sheryl Crow at Chateau Saint Michel.
Are you really going to that? Why didn't you
so
invite me?
Excited. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. It's so good.
That's exciting.
I want to say it's next weekend from now, the future.
Okay. Well, I get to see Cody this weekend if it's in the future.
If it's in the like the weekend of the future?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which we need to have him on.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. He agreed. He said yes.
Yes. What are we going to talk to him about?
A male's perspective on feminism.
Well, future selves. It's been good.
Yeah. So he is coming into town this weekend.
Awesome.
Okay. Well, thanks guys for listening.
Bye.
Bye.